phones, tablets, smart TVs, and streaming platforms. Tune into your favorite shows like WagerTalk Today, Bet on It, and the Opening Line Report. Plus, browse through our extensive library of sports betting tips. Create your personal playlist of betting tip videos to help you prepare for the upcoming season, and set notifications to alert you when new content is added. Download the app for Apple, Android, Amazon, and Roku devices by searching for WagerTalk TV, or scan the QR code on your screen to join the winning conversation today.
Welcome everybody to Wager Talk Today. I am Lawrence Presman, and that guy, my man, Teddy Covers. You're watching the best daily sports betting show on the planet. And if you've never watched this show before, Teddy, tell them what they're going to see.
Well, today we're going to open up with Dave Cokin. He's going to break down a couple of bowl games for us. Notre Dame and South Carolina today, Iowa and Kentucky for tomorrow. And he's going to talk a little NFL on Sunday as well. The Rams take on the Chargers. Ralph Michaels is going to join us next. He's got a chart. We're going to look at NFL totals under 40 and NFL totals over 50. See what Ralph has to show us with his chart today that may help us with some of these lower and higher totals. He's going to talk some college hoops as well from the extra board today, Colgate and Loyola, Maryland, as well as some Saturday college football. Yeah, we're going to break down Ohio State, Georgia with Ralph Michaels. My big game breakdown. I'm going to talk some Jets, Seahawks in the NFL for Sunday. And, of course, Andy Lang to close out the show. He's got a trio of props. Going to talk Cam Akers, Leonard Fournette, and Zach LaVine in NBA action tonight for the Chicago Bulls. If we get 100 likes, Prez, I think you'll do a presidential address at the end of the show. And that's what we've got going on the final Wager Talk Today of 2022.
Teddy, we are getting 100 likes, dude. I literally said there were going to be 9 goals in the Detroit Red Wing game. There was. I told everybody the Leafs would lose. That was like plus 3 million. They did. And the under in the Rangers game. I'm getting a lot of love in the channel. Money Channel found me a plumber. Money Channel, I really appreciate it, man. Great. I saw your YouTube comment too late. I already had it. The guy came. It's all done. Everything's fine. Anyway, Daniel's son, we got to do a promo. And then we're going to get onto the show. So, guys, enough. Stop. Take your damn credit cards out right freaking now. Like, I don't want to look at my sales again today without seeing Jessica, Unknown, Daniel, Dustin, RJ, Money Channel. Enough. Like, let me bottom line this. I am the number one handicapper in profit in the month of December. I am the number one handicapper in profit September, October, November, December. My hoops run 48-21. And yes, that was after another winning night. My NBA run 12-3 after another winning night. My college football Bulls 9-3 in the Bulls this year. My NFL plus 24 units on the season. My NHL right around break even, but I'm going on a big run in that. There is no sport I'm not killing it in except NHL, and that'll ultimately end up being the best sport of the year. My promo code for you, Dan, there it is. Prez, no, is it Prez 1? No, it's not Prez 199. Yes, Prez 199. Prez, look, I'm not great at promos, man. Prez 199. What do you get? You get $100 off of my all access for the next month, and we will add a week free. 5 weeks. Prez 199. Unknown, Baptism, Douglas, David, Daniel, Jessica, all of you guys, go grab that damn package. Let's all win together. Enough. Prez 199. Okay, Teddy. I'm done. Dave Cokin joining us, everyone. Dave, I'm done. I'm calm. I'm relaxed. So I started the show asking if you guys had ever done Viagra before. That was off air. Teddy's like, save it for on air. So I did, Teddy. My answer is no.
Of course it is, Lawrence. We've never used Viagra. Not a chance.
I would.
I used it once.
I'd give it a go.
I would. I went to the doc, and the doc was trying to pawn. I'm sure that the whoever it was whoever the what's the word I'm looking for? The guy who's trying to get Viagra sales up in Las Vegas and go around to all the doctors giving a free sample. He gave me a free sample. I brought him home, and I used it once, and it made no difference. You know.
Okay.
And I still have them. I got they're still sitting in my medicine cabinet. They're years old now.
So the takeaway is even Viagra didn't help?
Correct.
And we know Dave doesn't even want to go here, but Dave did answer the question off air, and the answer was no. Dave, how are you, man? Welcome to the show. How was your week? How's your holiday? You getting excited for New Year's, or is that just nonsense to you?
No, New Year's has always been amateur night to me.
So what's professional night?
No, I'm saying what that means. It's people who just, I don't know. It's just not a big deal to me. It's never been a big deal holiday to me.
Yeah, me either, my friend. Me either. I've spent many a New Year's on the couch. Dave,
now, I will say though, I have a good view of the Strip from where I live, and I do enjoy the fireworks displays.
Yeah. Well, the one Caesars does on July 4th is spectacular. One of the best. I don't know if they still do that. We got a lot of bowl games over the next few days. Let's start with Notre Dame, South Carolina. Notre Dame -3 here, Dave. How are we betting this one?
Yeah, that's going. It's 3.5 now, and I think it's going to get to 4. And with good reason. Notre Dame's missing a few guys of importance. But South Carolina, they've been hit hard. They've got 4 defensive starters out. They've got 3 offensive starters out, plus another guy who is a second unit guy, but he plays a lot. I think Notre Dame's stronger in the trenches to begin with. And with the absences on the South Carolina side, especially at cornerback, I think Notre Dame is going to win this in the trenches and control this game. So they're not a team that kills opponents, but Notre Dame should win this by a touchdown. And I think they're the right side in this game.
South Carolina was, let's call them an overachieving team this year. You know, certainly from the talent level on hand and the way they closed out the campaign with a couple of big upset wins. Certainly the trajectory for the South Carolina program in the early stage of the Beamer appears to be a positive one.
Yeah, it does.
Does that, with 2 first-year coaches here, Dave, I mean, how do you approach in terms of how they approach bowls?
Okay, he's not a first-year coach at Notre Dame. He coached the bowl game last year.
Right. But this is the first time it's his team going to a bowl.
Well, it's still, he's got the experience. No, I don't put a lot into that anyway. To me, it's just handicap the interior. The team that's going to control the line of scrimmage is going to win the game most of the time. Not all the time, most of the time. And Notre Dame should control the line of scrimmage here.
Dave Cokin joining us, everyone. Dave, one of our listeners, a good friend of the show, Phil Good, writes, "You are cool as fuck." What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, I've known that for like 60 years.
Oh, you literally paid the guy. Got it. Fair enough. Iowa, Kentucky, -2. There are 2.5s out there. What are we doing in this one? This should be a barn burner.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a good game to snooze through. Yeah. I think you can argue the under is still a good play, even at a very low number.
Yeah.
31. But I think Iowa will win the game. The biggest edge I see is on special teams. And one of the things you'll notice in these bowl games with the time off between the end of the season and these games, special teams matter more. Seeing a lot of big plays in special teams, mistakes as well. And Iowa has a significant edge in that department. And I think that might be the difference in this game ultimately. I think the line move is correct in this game. I expect Iowa to win. I don't know that I'm actually going to bet it, but I would lean that way.
When you're talking about games that are totaled at 31, and now you're like, all right, I want to lay points in a game that's totaled at 31. Does the total here affect at all your thought process on am I willing to lay points or not? And in general, in your handicapping, Dave, when you see the lower total, does that make you less inclined to lay a price with the team, or is it just another non-factor? I know I'm struggling to give you good follow-ups.
Not at the lines. Not at the lines this low. I mean, if they win by 1 or 2, well, I guess that's the way it goes. But I mean, it's at this. I mean, if the line was 7, yeah, then it's like, well, there's not going to be many points scored here, and don't know if you want to lay a lot of points. But 2.5, no, pick the winner of the game.
Yeah, money line bet here from my perspective, -135. Dave Cokin joining us, everyone. You can find him at WagerTalk.com, exclusive to us. And very kind, Dave. You sent a Slack to the group, which meant a lot to me and the guys in the office about how our customer service is world class. And that was somebody else. Nah, you love us, Dave. Come on, how good is Wager Talk, man? You've been everywhere, all over the place. How good is our customer service team?
No, they do a great job. And for someone like me who's not the most technically savvy person in the world, it's a big plus, okay?
Yeah. Yeah, guys, if you've never worked with our customer service team, email them. Just say hi. I'm telling you, man, world freaking class. Just like Dave Cokin, Rams, Chargers. Dave, this is still an important game for the Chargers. You're in a situation now where you don't want to play Cincinnati or Buffalo or Kansas City. Jacksonville and Tennessee are waiting for this team if they can win out. +6.5. Baker looked like Joe Montana last week. What are you doing in this game?
Well, I'm not putting much into last week because they played a Denver team that's completely screwed up at this point. But it's still a good performance. I think there's reason for the Rams to be interested here because it's the Battle of L.A. And the Chargers, I know I've said this a lot of times before, but I'll say it again because it's the truth. The seeding means more to the media and fans than it does to the players. The Chargers are in the playoffs. That's pretty much what they care about right now. And their task at this point is to stay healthy and hopefully make a run in the postseason. So I think the advantage here in terms of want, probably more on the Rams side. They're not healthy. So, I mean, there's some issues there. But Mayfield is having some success. And I think it's going to be a battle. The Chargers are not a team that wins by margins. 6.5 is takeable here with the Rams.
So, I mean, the one thing the Chargers did last week was they finally won a game by margin, and the defense was could that be a harbinger of things to come, especially with the way that their defense played last week and the defensive capabilities that they have? This is a team because if the Chargers can shut teams down, if teams aren't getting to the 20s and 30s against the Chargers, that offense will produce enough. Is that a concern for you here?
Everything's a concern for me in the NFL.
Well,
everything's a concern for me in every bet. I know. I mean, yeah. I mean, if I thought it would, it's not exactly a play. I'm going out there on 5%. Okay, I don't even know if I'm going to bet the game, but I'm looking at the Rams side. And one thing to remember is that non-contenders are often not the worst bets in the world in the last couple of weeks of the NFL because it gets input into the number and you end up getting some value.
Yeah, no, a very interesting point, Dave, because we always talk about this, teams, and not that the Chargers are in must-win because they're not, but teams in must-win mode, those are not teams you want to be betting on. Dave, what do you have to promote? I know you're killing it. You're the number one most profitable handicapper since the day you joined this freaking website, brother. outstanding work. What's going on for the clients?
Just grinding along for the next couple of days. I don't anticipate anything big this weekend. I'm not a big fan of the holidays as far as handicapping goes. Although I did have a best bet last night in what was, I should have made it a 5% play. I'll take the 4, and it was plus 155. But that was the intangible spot of the year last night in Buffalo. First game back out of the horrible storm. That was one of those games when the Sabres were going to come out and play really hard. And they did. And it was a pretty easy winner on the minus 1.5. So happy with that. We'll grind out the weekend and see what happens. Got some big stuff coming up in 2023. And that's it. Look, if you want big plays, I don't have any this weekend. If you want to get set up now, though, for 2023, I've had another good year. I'm number 1 all-time in profits here at WagerTalk. I'm going to grind out the wins for you. And that's what this is about. I mean, I'm not for everybody. My volume isn't very big. I don't have a lot of top plays. But at the end of the year, I'm going to grab a lot of profits, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, well said, Dave. And you do every year, in and out. It's unbelievable consistency. Congratulations. We absolutely love having you on the show. Happy New Year to you, my friend. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Kick ass. And now you're done. So, Teddy, firstly, I want to read a couple of this one gentleman writes something so nice. Like, it just makes me so happy when you give out information and people actually take it. David Gary writes, he took the Leafs in the first period plus 110. And then, just like the Prez told him to do, he took Arizona in game moving forward at plus 525. Yeah, David. That shit makes me so freaking happy, dude. I mean, like, we don't give out this info for ourselves, man. I mean, listen, I love hearing my voice. No doubt about it. But it really makes me happy to know you guys are taking advantage of this type of information. Teddy Covers, my brother, what did you learn in the wonderful world of sports betting?
So I went out for lunch yesterday.
Is that an
abnormal
thing?
We'll get to sports.
Oh.
Sometimes, not that often, but I went out for lunch yesterday. I came home, I checked the receipt, and the lady at the counter gave me a senior discount. I didn't ask for one. I'm only 55, but there it was. I got the senior discount without asking. Put that in the background. So the remote control went out of the downstairs TV. I went out and bought a universal remote. I can't program the damn thing. Who do you call the program remote? I don't know. Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime. I have it on the downstairs TV with the bad remote. I want to watch it up in my office so I can switch back and forth. So I got the other games on the other TVs. I got 3 TVs upstairs, 1 TV downstairs. So if I'm watching college hoops and bowl games and NBA, I don't want to be stuck on Amazon Prime and having to switch back to regular TV back and forth, trying to watch it upstairs. I'm sure there's a way to do it. I couldn't figure it out. So I got to watch it downstairs, which is hard to do. So I ended up blowing off the game a fair bit, not watching the NFL game as a result. Went back up to my office where I could watch the NFL, NBA, and bowls and college hoops all at the same time. Because I hired a guy once. I come from a world, Prez, where you could just drop by somebody's house to see if they were home. No plan, no phone call, you just drop by. Different world today. And I'm just one of those old guys now that's getting senior discounts and can't program the remote control. That's what I learned last night. What about you?
Well, I want to give you a little tip here, Teddy. And yes, you are an old guy, and yes, the world has passed you by.
It just freaking happened, yeah.
I get it, brother. Listen, there's nothing you can do about it. At least it comes with wisdom. So I don't know how it works in America. I'm assuming it's the same, but you should be able to download. What do you use? DirecTV? What are you using?
Yeah, I got DirecTV, and then we've got whatever subs downstairs to the Netflix and the Amazon Prime and all of that.
Okay.
But I haven't been able to figure out how to put those upstairs.
Okay. First, figure out how to put them on your computer. That's the key, bro. Like, I have all of the stuff on the computer. So if DirecTV will have an app, download the app onto your computer, log in, and then you can watch on your regular TV one channel and on your computer the other one. Much more effective than jumping back and forth between games. And for the record, I'm not old, and the world still revolves around me. Ralph Michaels joining us, everyone. Ralph, love having you on, man, and in a salmon shirt. Woo! What's going on, brother?
Yeah, real fancy. I got dressed up for you guys today. So
we see, man. You brushed your hair, you put on a button down and suit. I love it, bro. I love it.
Yeah, well, we're finishing the year, with some colors. So we'll see what happens.
So what's going on? You killing it in the bowls, and what's happening with you?
I got off to a great bowl start. I've been in a rough finish though. I've had 3 or 4 losses that frustrating. I'll tell you what, the totals that normally have happened, all these opt-outs have changed the totals optics. So certainly learning from what's happening this year, make adjustments. We'll see what happens. Hopefully finish on the positive side. But no, it's been a poor finish for me. So full disclosure, college hoops has not been good, and college bowls the last few days has not been good. So looking forward to the NFL and finishing on a high note, but we'll keep chugging away. Good streaks happen, bad streaks happen. Unfortunately, it happens right at the end of the year with the holidays, which makes it amplifies it a little bit more.
Yeah, but it's just a little, Ralph. There's never a good time for a bad streak. We always find a reason. Oh, it happened just before Easter. Oh, it happened as we go into March Madness. Oh, right before the baseball season started. Damn, in August, as the clients are getting ready for the NFL, my God, it happened in October, right before basketball season starts. There's never a good time for a bad run, but it does happen. Ralph, congrats on your NFL season so far, man. I'm jealous. Teddy's jealous. It's been absolutely outstanding. You got a chart for us, speaking of NFL. I'll sit back and let you regale us with some info.
Well, Prez and Teddy, it's something we've talked about on this show 1,000 times. Why low totals are low, why high totals are high, and I'm quantifying it now for us. So let's take a look at the chart, and we'll see. You'll see the top half in brown are NFL totals 40 and under since 2015. That's when they moved the extra point back. Non-division games to the left, division games to the right. So I did separate them to see if there was a difference. So let's take a look at NFL totals 40 and lower on the top. If you look at the non-division totals, those brown with the white letters, you'll see that since 2015, if you bet every non-division NFL total of 40 or less, only 42.3% have gone over the total, or 57.7% have gone under. Division games, surprisingly, are only 45.6%. So before we get to the 50s and over, I want to say this to you. Prez and Teddy, look at November and December, NFL division games with totals of 40 or under. When division teams are playing the second time in their season, those very low totals have gone over the total. An anomaly, or do you think there's reasoning to that?
That makes a ton of sense. But the question is, are all of those second meetings in November and December? Because I would say probably half of them are. Well, half of them have to be second meetings because they're running the second time, but I'm not sure that they all are.
Well, the Decembers are all going to, you rarely play twice in December. So are you going to play twice in the last 8 weeks? I would say some. I would probably guess 70% are second meetings. So again, I didn't break it out that way. I wasn't looking to say that. I just put up the data, and then that's what stood out to me on the low totals. So I will take a look. And on next week's show, even though it's the end of the season, I will look at first meetings for division games and second meetings, what the over-unders are relative to the numbers.
This is amazing stuff.
And certainly,
go ahead, Ted.
Yeah, certainly the takeaway here is pretty clear. these non-divisional games are worth playing under with the low totals here in December. And that's certainly a takeaway, although aren't a whole lot of non-divisional games over the final 2 weeks of the season.
And let's take a look at the NFL totals 50 and higher. The non-division games on the left have gone over 54.6%. Division games with totals of 50 or higher have actually gone over 56.9%. You'll see that if it's 53% over, I shaded it in the blue. Every month, it doesn't matter. Division games, first division game, second division game. When division foes are playing each other and they have great offenses or poor defenses with a total of 50 or higher, division games have gone 56.9%. That is a number that shocked the hell out of me. I would have never, ever guessed that number. So I'm even learning, pulling up this data as we share it. So again, the takeaway is this. You look at those non-division totals of 40 or higher, and look at every NFL game with a total of 50 or higher. We've said it on the show 100 times. Here's how you quantify it with this chart.
I love it, man.
Yeah,
well done. Ralph, we got to keep the show moving.
50.
Sorry, Teddy, go ahead, man.
Sure. There's no totals of 50 or higher on the board this week. But certainly one of the biggest takeaways from that is
there aren't.
The Bears and the Lions are 52, I believe.
Bears and the Lions. There's one total. Sorry, missed it. Thank you, Lawrence.
I like the over a lot in that game, by the way. Do you know, first and second worst defense in all of football, the Bears and the Lions, 1 and 2 at the bottom. Indoors on a track. Bears are not going to be able to stop the Lions at all, and I think the Bears are going to put up some points. I know we veered off, but I love the over in that game, so just wanted to throw that out there. Teddy?
Sure. My biggest takeaway from the second part of Ralph's chart is, again, much like in December, we're looking for the unders in the non-divisional games with the lowest totals. In December, we're looking for the overs in the non-divisional games with the highest totals. And that's one that absolutely stood out to me.
100%.
The numbers from Ralph's chart. So this is the divisional game, which is not exactly what I'm looking for. It doesn't have the highest December numbers. Nonetheless, certainly the chart says, take a look at the over between Chicago and Detroit.
Money Channel, shout out to you, my brother. This guy's trying to get 100 likes in the first 30 minutes of the show. He says it'll break a record. I don't keep track of those things. But hey, we got 2 minutes left. Ralph Michaels, Colgate, -7.5. They're playing Loyola, Maryland, a total of 139.5. What are we doing in this one?
Well, Colgate is one of my plays today, so this is an actual client release, a 3% play, and I am on Colgate -7. It fits a system that I like. And I think it even passes the Teddy test, the system. If you lose back-to-back games as a home favorite, and now you're an away favorite of 3 or more, like Colgate is, those teams have covered 67.4% against the time since 2012. Makes perfect sense. You're off an embarrassing back-to-back home losses as a favorite. Now you're the better team. This is also the opening game of the Patriot League. Listen, Colgate is by far the class. They have the best backcourt in the Patriot. They have the best front court. They went 16-2 last year. They're number 5 in the country in 2-point percentage. They're number 26 in 3-point percentage. Loyola's D, number 218 and number 334. Greyhounds have faced 2 top 100 offenses this year. They've lost by 29 and 25. Game 306-585, Colgate.
Colgate on the extra board for today in college basketball action. Let's talk bowls. Ralph, I don't want to give you follow-ups on a college hoops game that is relatively obscure when we can talk about Ohio State and Georgia instead. And you're interested in a first-half wager as opposed to a full-game wager on the total for this. Tell us why you like the first half in this one and whether you like the over or the under in the national championship semis tomorrow night.
Well, again, you're talking the Buckeyes. Buckeyes, since their opener, are 9-1 over-under. The only game that went under the total was the game at Northwestern with rain and 30-plus mile-an-hour winds. But when I broke down the game into full game and second half, There's two main points that got me going first half versus full game. Number one, the Buckeyes are the number one team in the country scoring in the first quarter. They have averaged 14.1 points per game their last 10 in the first quarter. Number two in the country is 12.1. They are 2+ points better than the next best team. You look at Georgia. Georgia is number 16 scoring in the first quarter. Both teams come out quick. Ohio State, on their first drive that is scripted, has scored most times. But more importantly, when we look at third quarter, your top coaches and your top coordinators know how to make adjustments at halftime. Ohio State is number 2 in the country in third quarter D. They're allowing 1.7 points per game. Jim Knowles does an incredible job with this defense making adjustments. I'll tell you what, Georgia allowing 3.8 points per game. They have co-DCs in Will Muschamp and Glenn Schumann. I'll tell you what, Glenn Schumann is a name that doesn't get mentioned enough. Kirby Smart, this was his first hire when he came from Alabama. The players at Alabama say this guy was an absolute guru. Kirby said he was his right-hand man. You add Will Muschamp to the mix, who came in last year, the previous head coach of Florida and South Carolina. A powerful adjustment on defense. Ohio State's offense, number 2 in the country. They average 156 yards per game more than their opponents allow. Georgia, number 5. They average 115 yards per game more than their opponents allow. So with the strong first quarter and with the strong third quarter Ds, I lean over for the full game, but I'm going to use as my best bet here on the show, first half over 31.
Nice. Ralph Michaels, everybody. Ralph, brilliant, man. We love having you on. Listen, if Teddy and I had our way, you'd be on every day, except every show wants a little piece of Ralph Michaels. What do you got to promote?
Nothing. Again, a quiet card for me. Been on a semi-bad run. If you have the bowls or want to get a 7-day all-access, that'll cover it. I do want to wish all the viewers a very happy and safe New Year's. It's been an incredible year. Thanks for watching the show. Thanks for the kind comments about me. And Andy coming up next. Happy New Year to you as well, Andy.
Ralph Michaels, everyone. And guys, I don't know if you know this, but Ralph Michaels is an MVP over at WagerTalk. Not only is he one of the best handicappers on the planet, not only does he do all of these charts, not only does he write for the Gold Sheet, but Ralph Michaels is available to every handicapper. I literally called him last week. I'm like, Ralph, how can I maximize my run? Took the time out of his day, spoke with me, made me a promo, gave me advice on my sales pitch. Teddy, there's just not many people better than Ralph Michaels.
So I used to do a daily show with Ralph before I did this daily show with you. And when I did the daily show with Ralph, we got along every single day.
Yeah, that's to Ralph's credit, not you. All that suggests is Ralph has more patience than me.
Just
the big
saying.
Question.
When we come back.
Yes.
It's
yes,
time for
Teddy,
today's big game breakdown. We'll have Andy Lang as well. Wager Talk Today continues after this.
Have you checked out all the new handicappers at WagerTalk? If not, here's your chance. You can take 50% off your first daily or 3-day all-access purchase at WagerTalk using coupon code TRYWT. Our new roster of experts is 30 deep, covering sports from all around the world, giving you tons of options to choose from. All you have to do to redeem this offer is go to WagerTalk.com, choose a handicapper of your choice, and use coupon code TRYWT at checkout, saving 50% on your first purchase.
It is time for today's big game breakdown. First, Happy New Year. Safe, happy, healthy 2023 for all of you out there in viewer land. Now let's talk some NFL action for Sunday. The Seahawks and the Jets. Right now, look at the Wager Talk live odds screen. I'm seeing the Jets minus 1.5 on the road. Total sitting in the 42.5 range. For this one of my favorite NFL quotes of all time, Dennis Green. They are who we thought they were. Geno Smith is who we thought he was. He had a decent run midseason, but in recent weeks, facing better defense, he's been shut down completely. KC shut him down. San Fran shut him down. Carolina shut him down. He's been sacked 3 or more times, 5 times in the last 6 games. And Seattle's 1-5 straight up in those last 6 ball games. This is a game we need to win to cover. Home field edge in Seattle, not so much. 0-4 straight up and against the spread, their last 4 at home. And their best offensive weapon many weeks has been Kenneth Walker. He was very limited in practice yesterday. Not even sure if he's going to be able to suit up on Sunday. Jets have Mike White, now upgraded to probable. And of the 4 quarterbacks who've thrown at least 15 passes for the Jets this season, White's the best of the 4, at least in terms of how the team has responded to him. Absolutely. Jets defense is the best unit on the field, period. Geno versus a good defense is a big problem. Jets have a winning straight-up record on the highway. 2 of their 3 road losses at Buffalo, at Minnesota. No shame in either one. And the Jets, extra time off. Remember, they played a Thursday night weather game against the Jags. Time to buy low on the Jets. All the early sharp money came on New York for a reason. My money's with them, too. Jets, Jets on the road in Seattle. There's your big game breakdown. This is a client play. You just got it right here. That's my take. Prez, back to you.
Good luck, my friend. Guys, Andy Lang joining us. Andy, right off the bat, Teddy admitted that he took Viagra once. It didn't help. I have never tried it. You're a regular, right? Once every couple of days?
I got whatever you guys need. These things are amazing. Even if you don't need them. If sex is like placing a bet in a sports book, these are like the drink tickets. Like, you don't need them to make a bet, but it makes the experience that much more enjoyable.
What is that? He's got stacks.
These are blue chews, man.
Mm-hmm.
By the handful.
Yeah,
Come on.
man.
He's got a handful.
You always have these things.
Give us a view in the camera,
Sure.
so you can actually see what you're holding.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Very. They're
Never
great,
leave
man.
home without
They
him,
really
Eddie,
are.
guys.
Nope,
Never leave
nope.
home
Have 'em in
without your Viagra. This show's sponsored
Chapstick.
by.
Never leave home without your American Express chapstick or your blue chews. Words live by.
Oh my God, Andy, you are too much, brother. You got a bunch of prop bets for us. Go through them all one at a time, and then if Teddy has a question, he'll ask.
Sure. Let's start with this guy's kind of fascinated me the last couple weeks. Cam Akers, I'm sure, is off of people's radars, but I love his over rushing and receiving at 85.5 yards. We concentrate on these teams that are motivated because they're going into the playoffs, but don't forget about looking at some of the individual players that are motivated. Next week, we're going to have a lot of guys who are trying to get their contracts incentives to get the extra paydays. So we're going to take advantage of that. And then you've got guys that are trying to keep their job, auditioning for other head coaches. And Cam Akers and Baker Mayfield are 2 of these guys that are really trying to put on a show. They're out of the playoffs, but Akers and Baker Mayfield have kind of got something going the last couple weeks. I mean, last week against Denver, he rushed for 118 yards, caught for 29 yards. The week before that against Green Bay, even though they lost, he had 65 yards rushing and 35 yards receiving. I think this number is a little bit too low. The books are kind of catching on. They're playing the Chargers. It's kind of hard to get a gauge on the Chargers defense from last week because the Colts were so incompetent. But the week before that, Derrick Henry had over 160 yards rushing and receiving. He had 59 yards receiving. So they're susceptible to some of these running backs. And Cam Akers is the only guy in that backfield. Kyron Williams is not doing anything. He's not effective. So Akers is I think he's going to get there just by sheer volume and him trying to show off and try and say, hey, give me this backfield. His contract is good for one more year with the Rams. I think he's trying to put on a show. So give me Cam Akers over his rushing plus his receiving. I'm going to move to Leonard Fournette. I love his receiving, 27.5 yards receiving. He's gone over 30 yards in 6 out of 7 games. Last week, he was a monster, 9 catches for 90 yards. And This is this offense is just such a dink and dunk offense. Tom Brady just cannot stretch the field. He has 43 or more attempts in 8 out of 9 games. And I looked up his air yards per attempt. He's behind Kenny Pickett and Jimmy Garoppolo in terms of how far the ball goes in the air. And Fournette, give him credit. He is catching all of his targets. He's very efficient out of the backfield catching these passes. I don't see why they would go away from him. He's a favorite target of Brady's right now. Until this line moves over 30, and I know we only got one more game in the regular season, I'm going to take it over. The other thing was this line was only 19.5 last week. This is a very aggressive move by the books. To move from 19.5 to 27.5 means they're starting to catch on to it. I'm still going to play Leonard Fournette over 27.5 receiving yards. And then moving on to Zach LaVine, over 22.5 points. He's always right around this number. He averages 22.2 points per game for the season. He's averaging 23.8 points per game this month. And he gets a dream matchup against the Pistons. The Pistons allow 49 points a game to guards. It might even be worse tonight. They've got 2 of their guards suspended because of the altercation against Orlando. So Killian Hayes and Diallo are suspended. They're not great defenders, but they do eat up a lot of minutes. I don't know where the depth is going to come from Detroit. And it looks like Patrick Williams and Caruso are questionable. So this could turn into the DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine show. I would look for big nights from both of those. But for just one on the Bulls, give me Zach LaVine over 22.5 points.
So LaVine's stayed under this number in 5 of his last 7. The one that went over was one in overtime, and the other game was one game where he shot lights out during this span. So he's been staying under 22.5 pretty consistently of late, and the ones that haven't have come against either up-tempo teams or overtime games. Does that worry you at all? And also, what about the J.C. Horn injury for Carolina? Is that going to open things up for Tampa's receivers downfield? Will that potentially slow down Fournette's pass catching because Tampa Bay may have open guys? Carolina's missing their best cover corner.
They could. I don't know what Carolina is going to do on defense. I know Chris Godwin has been a receptions monster. Mike Evans just has not been getting a lot of the volume. They try and take some deep shots, but I just keep going back to these pass attempts from Tom Brady, over 43 or more. So I think Godwin is going to have a good game. Brady likes peppering him with targets. I just don't see the amount of volume going down for Leonard Fournette. I mean, you have Mike Evans. You have, I guess, Rachaad White, you could say. He does throw a few to some of the tight ends. Yeah. But I just think there's going to be so many targets to go around that Fournette is eventually going to get there. And as for LaVine, I know exactly what you're saying, Teddy. That's what I was saying. He dances around this 22.5. This is just a matchup-specific night. This should just be an easy green light game for LaVine. You mentioned a game where he shot lights out. Well, he probably is going to shoot lights out. I have no idea who's going to be able to stop him getting to the basket. And I also think he's going to have a green light on the perimeter. So I would look for a similar stat line when he played the Knicks. I think that's a game you're referencing when he had over 30 points. I expect a big game from him against the depleted Pistons team.
Andy Lang, everybody. And Andy, I was kicking myself for not releasing the over in Fournette receiving yards last week. I did end up betting it, but it was like with 10 minutes to go in the game. So 10 minutes to go before the game started, so I couldn't release it. We're right up against it, dude. You have promoted Viagra. You've given us plays. What else? Really quick, 30 seconds.
5% play is up in the NFL. These have been pretty much the best thing that I've had over the last 3 months. They're 17-6 so far. We're number 1 in 5% plays in the NFL. We have another strong one going Sunday. We did not have one last week, but I cannot wait to get back on the cashing the 5%. And then we're running our annual Golf Plus Auto Racing package. It's only $299. That's golf season starts next week. I've never had a losing season in auto racing or golf since joining WagerTalk. We were plus 66 units on this package last season, so go grab that. But for this weekend, 5% NFL best bet.
Nice. Andy Lang, everybody. Teddy covers. It's time for the last daily presidential address of the year. Okay, guys, I got to be quick on this presidential address. I got 3 NFL plays to give you, a couple of NHL plays, Before we do all of that, a quick promo, Prez 199. Nobody has made more profit than me since September. That's 4 straight months. I'm dominating every sport right now. You get a month of my all access, $100 off Prez 199, and we will add a 5th week on the house. Guys, it's been a real pleasure doing this show with Teddy especially. I know you guys think we fight a lot. I have mad love for Teddy. He's an incredibly close friend of mine. So I want to thank him. It's been a wonderful year. I want to thank all of you guys for watching the show, commenting, talking, being on Twitter with us. It's been such an outstanding year for Wager Talk overall. There's so much love here for all of you guys. Have a wonderful, awesome New Year's. We'll see you on Monday. As for your bets, I'm betting. These are 3 games I am betting in the NFL. Carolina and Tampa Bay under the total of 39.5. Chicago and Detroit over the total of 52. And I do like Tampa Bay as well, but I will be betting likely on the money line. As for your NHL plays tonight, I like the Edmonton Oilers. I like the Florida Panthers tonight, guys, to upset Carolina at plus 142. That's it, Teddy. I tried to get a hard stop for 12:45. I missed it. I love you, man. Happy New Year. Be good. We'll see you Monday. Take us home.
Sure, that's going to wrap it for the year here at Wager Talk Today. We'll do it again next year. Same time, same channel. 9 a.m. on the left coast, noon for you back east. Enjoy the weekend. Be safe out there. We'll see you guys in 2023.
The Gold Sheet wants you to end the 2022 football season on a winning note while getting a head start on planning for the next season. Founded in 1957, the Gold Sheet is the country's longest-running sports betting newsletter and has served bettors for over 6 decades. So if between 1957 and now, if you have not checked out the Gold Sheet, here's your chance to see what you have been missing out on at a huge discount. Each weekly edition of the Football Gold Sheet is normally $15, but for the holidays, you can get every edition from now through Super Bowl 57 for just a total of $19. If you like what you see, take advantage of the super early bird pricing for next year by locking in your Football Gold Sheet subscription for 2023 for just $99. You will receive every college football and NFL edition for next season for just $99, plus a free $59 credit to use towards Gold Sheet's LTS picks at WagerTalk. Instructions for redeeming your WagerTalk credit will be sent shortly after your purchase. Just go to goldsheet.com, click the Buy Now button, choose a 2022 Football Gold Sheet for $19, and lock yourself in through the Super Bowl 57.